Good afternoon, everybody. It's December 27th, 2023. It's towards the end of the year, and I just wanted to update everybody on my book that I've been working on, a fictional memoir about J. Bruce Ismay called simply Islington. I've been working on it since probably August or September of 2021, and I'm towards the end of completing my fictional novel. I'm on the second process of editing the whole book, and of the fact that I was able to write a book of up to, I think it's over now, I think it's over 74,000 words. I've been talking about this book for a very long time. I've been, posting tidbits here and there on Facebook. I've been giving examples of my writing skills and my writing style to historians. And so I'm really proud of this book. I really hope that if and when this book comes out, I'm hoping that it comes out sometime in 2024 or before the end of 2024. I'm hoping that when people read my book, I really hope they take in the whole, personality of J. Bruce Ismay. Through writing this book for 2 years, it made me understand J. Bruce Ismay more and more. Obviously, the book is going to be fiction, so there's going to be a lot of, certain liberties that I took. There's going to be a lot of artistic license, because it is a fictional memoir about him. And, I changed names around with a few of his relatives and a few of the people that he worked with, mostly so I don't get sued by anybody. I don't want to contribute to the controversy surrounding his life. I mean, he's been dead for almost 100 years. He died in October of 1937 at the age of 74. And, his whole life after Titanic, he tried to rebuild his whole life after Titanic. And, every movie that has been, made about him, or every movie with him being, a supporting role in the Titanic movie, he's always been portrayed as a villain and a coward. And so I hope with my book, I hope that people really can get a sense and a feel for him. I portray him the way that I see him. I portray him as a white Englishman of his generation. That's how I see him, and that's how I portray him. In writing this book, one book that I really, really utilized and I'm extremely grateful for is the Ismay Line book by Walton Oldham, I believe his name is. And I've been using that book for the last 2 years. Looking through that book, reading through that book, looking at a lot of the letters that he wrote to, Harold Sanderson and J.P. Morgan and members of the board of directors, so that book has basically been my Bible. When I started writing, this book, I reached out to two Titanic and maritime historians, George Behe, who I know personally through, my email correspondence, and Kent Layton, sorry, I had to make sure I got his name right, the Atlantic Liners. And, I reached out to both of them to ask them their opinions. And Kent Layton felt that, and still probably feels to this day, that anything that's written fictional about J. Bruce Ismay could probably just make things worse. But he wished me luck on my project, nonetheless. And I've shared a couple of tidbits with him, the good tidbits anyway. And he thinks those are great. But George Behe is the Titanic historian. If it wasn't for him pushing me and encouraging me, because he pushed me with writing the first book. The first book that, I wrote about Titanic's history. He was the reason why that book was created. He pushed me. And he also pushed me with this one. He said, listen, as long as you don't take drastic liberties with him, as long as you don't make him out to be an axe murderer or serial killer or any of that, and you stick to the historical facts as much as humanly possible to create this fictional memoir, why not? Instead of just leaving J. Bruce Ismay as a mystery, maybe you can bring him back to life and maybe you can humanize him. So that's what I did. Now I shared my whole book the whole thing with one of my close friends, and I'm not going to name them on here. But he thinks I did a fantastic job. He thinks, it needs to be polished. It needs to be polished up. Because there's a lot of misspells and things. Things that I miss. It needs to be polished up completely. But he thinks I did a great job. He especially likes the way that I portray Ismay as the Titanic is sinking, and he also loves the fact of the aftermath of the inquiries and how I portray him in the inquiries. So I think this book that I wrote, I actually want to say this book is better than my first book. And I think it is better than my first book. I think I put my heart and soul into writing this book. And I really hope that people in the Titanic community and the general public, and I really also hope that the Ismay family too, I really hope they enjoy reading this book. And I am immensely proud of the fact that I can even go upwards of 100,000 words. Because I didn't even think I could go that far up as far as writing this book. I'm actually, after this live stream that I'm making, I'm actually going to continue today with, if you can see it, today I'm on chapter 18, the last chapter. So I have to continue on with editing this book. And then thereafter, I have to decide if I'm going to do self-publishing or traditional publishing. And I really want to try to do traditional publishing. I really think it's worth to be traditionally published. I didn't write this book to make money. And I just want to say that with my first Titanic book, I only made about $900 of sales by Amazon self-publishing, and they took $600, and I got $300. So me writing this book about J. Bruce Ismay, a fictional memoir about him, is not about me making money. I don't expect to make any money. Anybody that writes Titanic books or ocean liner books, you don't get rich off of this. Most people and most historians who write Titanic books usually have their regular paying jobs. So that's this live stream update. I haven't made video like this in a long time, almost 2 years. Just a lot of things in my life that have been going on, and so I haven't really had the time to make these off-the-cuff videos. And this is, again, another off-the-cuff video off the top of my head. No scripts, no preparation, no nothing. Just me just talking off the cuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video update, and I really hope that my book gets published soon and that the world can, experience J. Bruce Ismay the way that I experienced him by writing this book.